salts. Young crouch to the world and back, baby. Look. When they ask for a picture, what do? That's the pose that I choose. You can do it too. Just start traveling. When they ask for a photo, what do I show? That's the pose that I know. You can do it so. Explore different cultures. When they ask for a picture, what do? That's the pose that we do. You can do it too. Just come true. Explore different cultures. Learn something new. Picturesque photos. Lifestyle loco. Crazy adventures. Jungles. Oh no. Food taste top notch. Parties non-stop. Learn from locals. Cruise in a drop top. Blessings we're counting.
All right, welcome back to the Young Crouch Travel Show, episode 4. It's your host with the most, Zilla Vale, a.k.a. Zilla Vale, a.k.a. Mr. Young Crouch Travels himself, a.k.a. anyway, we've got a special guest today. He goes by the name of, introduce yourself, my friend.
Yeah, you can call me Jordan, those that know me,
JB.
JB. I'm easy. You can call me
Easy,
what
yeah.
you want to call me. Yeah, Jordan, JB, that's it.
You're not one for many nicknames, are you?
No, just keep it simple. And those that know me, you know how I keep it simple. Yeah, JB, you can just call me that.
That's all good, man. So, JB, we normally do this like introduction where we warm up the guests here, right? And disclaimer, you're my boy from knee high. When I say knee high, I mean knee high.
Facts.
So I know you, but let's just try to bring out your personality a bit. So,
Sure.
Little test. All right. Can you introduce yourself in another language, any other language? On the spot.
Oh boy, well.
And it don't have to be a language, actually. I can do it like another dialect. We can go like that.
Alright, we'll try with French first. Did that for like 3 years at school. So we'll just keep it. Je m'appelle Jordan. So
Oui.
that's my name.
Très bien. C'est pas mal.
That's it for me right now. That's all I got.
Cool. You know
all
what
I got.
It's better than a lot of people. The people that I've had on so far, they've been able to do that, and they always opt for French. I don't know what it is. I think
it?
in the UK schools we tend to like learn French, but that's all right. Okay,
Cool.
nah,
Pass the test.
pass the test. Yeah.
Cool.
That's just the first test.
Oh.
The next
okay.
one. All right. How many different languages can you say thank you in 10 seconds? I'm gonna count down now. Go.
English, thank you. Oh my gosh. Put me on the spot. Oh man, I'm gonna flop. Yeah. I actually forgot.
That's
Wait.
hilarious.
You
It's
actually
the fact that you stated the language it comes from
yeah,
as well.
I
Like,
need to
you
get that
took
extra
2
point. I need them
seconds.
points. I needed that point. You know what I mean?
Alright, okay. Now you're ready for that one, yeah?
Yeah.
How many different languages?
Holy, wait, I just realised how bad I did on that last one, but we'll move forward.
It's alright,
We'll
it's
move
alright.
forward. Yeah, we'll move forward.
Like,
We move forward.
That's your shoulders up,
Alright,
innit?
cool.
Move on. Yeah. So that was thank you. Yeah, so you know the aim of the game, right?
Alright, cool.
How many different languages can you say goodbye?
So you've got au revoir, you've got adios, then you've got bye. Ciao.
Yeah.
Then you've got.
I'll
That's
give you
all
a
I've
last
got.
one. Yeah, three's good. Three's good.
Wait,
I think
arrivederci.
that's true. Do you know what?
But that's the same language though, isn't
I
it?
can't. Yeah, true.
Yeah, so I've already used that. Ciao, I think you can use that as well.
The thing is, though, I can't validate these.
Wait, hold on a minute. So yeah, the man that's testing me is just literally, I could have said anything.
You could have. It would have been a validation afterwards, maybe, if we got that far.
Yeah.
But for now, bruv, anything you say. I mean, like, there's some bait ones where I'm like, yeah, okay,
that must
but,
mean that, yeah.
like, in general, if it was Swahili, I don't know how to say goodbye in Swahili. I don't know how to say
for
goodbye in Romanian. Like, so, yeah.
That's true.
You done well, though.
Thank you,
done
man.
well.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
So, here at Young Crouch Travels, I always look to understand the ethos behind people traveling, like what gets them into traveling, why, the type of travels that they try to do. So, me personally, my first solo travel was to Rome, and that changed my life. I remember that was 2015. The year before, I had not I didn't do a New Year's resolution, but I said to myself that no matter what, if I say I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna do it. And I remember always wanting to go to Italy, but I'd never been. And so I was supposed to go with two friends, Rowan, Safia, you know them.
Yep.
And but they weren't able to make it. And I was thinking, oh man, holiday plan's done. But it gave me the opportunity to just go solo. And I went. It was the first solo holiday I went to. I booked it like I think 3 days beforehand, so it was very last minute. But I said, no, if I want to do something, I'm gonna do it. And I went through with it. It was one of the best holidays, most memorable holidays to this day. So one type of holiday, solo traveling. You can't, like, no one's stopping you from doing what you want to do. Then there's also group holidays, like with friends, you know, them like just, you know, doing what you want to do. Then there's like holidays where you might go by yourself, but then you go on a tour with like random people and you have some of the most amazing time, like memories. For you, what is like your number one? What's your go-to?
Wow, what a question. For me, so in terms of solo holidays, I can't talk on that yet. I haven't done that one yet, but I've heard, you know, people have done it and, you know, they've enjoyed it. And it's something that I want to do one day, just to travel somewhere by myself and get some, you know, thinking time and stuff like that. So yeah, it's something I want to do. In terms of things that I have done, I can talk on those. So, for example, you know, you got the Mandem holiday. You know, you can start with the Mandem holiday. Those are like, I've done a few of those. You know, do you want to keep it Italy or are we talking in general?
In general, man.
Yeah, so like if we're talking, Italy. So a few places, I'll just say a few places that I've been. I've been Italy, Spain, Ibiza. Obviously, I've done some family holidays, Jamaica, which is like where my background is. I've been to, my mind's gone blank. Obviously, I've been to the US. I was as a child, I was pretty young then, but still good memories there. And
so with the, you know, the US is got a close relationship with the UK and is an English speaking country.
Yeah.
When I looked to book holidays, especially in the last few years, it's been places that are very different from England. Ideally, they don't speak English. Ideally, the heritage of that country isn't influenced strongly by England as well. In some people's cases, that wouldn't be a holiday. Some people might say that's travel.
Yeah.
You know, specifically travel. Like there is a difference between, I guess, vacation, holiday, and traveling sort of thing.
Yeah.
All of them I put into one umbrella, but you can distinguish it. But with USA, I've realized that, okay, I used to go to Boston to see my cousins and stuff. But in terms of, and that was fun, like that was family stuff. But in terms of like where I'd want to go next, it would be places like New Orleans or like Baton Rouge, where they've got a strong culture that's not really portrayed in the limelight of USA. When you think about USA, you think about like LA, New York kind of thing. New York's very much like London, like slightly different, but I respect it, but I'm not really learning so much new. Yeah. Like when you went to America, do you feel like it's a comfort zone holiday, or is it like you really expanding your horizons?
No. It's funny. I agree with exactly what you're saying. It's like, you know, New York, there's differences, but there's big similarities with London. So it's like, you know, it's similar. As you said, are you really pushing the boundaries? Not really, but in terms of those type of holidays, because I've got a family there as well, so there's more to it than just actually a holiday. Because sometimes actually seeing the family for me can make the holiday. You know, that's when you're seeing the people that are so far away and you haven't seen them in years. You know, even that's doing something basic with them, like just going to a restaurant, that can like make your holiday because you're just literally enjoying that moment
100%
of with that family member. So that's why, like, because I've got some family in New York, that's why it's hard to like compare it with others, because they've got a point of I've got family there. So it's how can I compare that to someone where I've got no one, but then I'm just, you can't just, it's difficult for me.
Say, I prefer it.
But it's different. It's different,
That's the beauty of travel.
Yeah, that's the beauty, that's true. Also, I've been to, as a child as well, I've actually been to 2 states, actually. I've been to New York and I've been to Florida State as well, which I also have some family there as well.
Miami?
Yeah, Miami
Yeah?
and another place called sorry, it's called Fort Lauderdale. It's in like Florida. Yeah,
Lauderdale.
yeah, Lauderdale.
That's as much an American name if I ever did hear one.
That's true.
Lauderdale.
That's true. That's true.
Damn.
Yeah. Yeah. And the thing is, like, there's a lot of Jamaicans. The main two places that they'll usually go, in my opinion, is like they'll usually go to Florida State or New York State as well. That's where a lot of my family is based. So
Okay, now come.
yeah, like so I've been to those two places, and in terms of Florida State, like obviously US is so big, it's just like it's like many countries on top of one country.
It's like
yeah,
Europe. It's
so
like
yeah,
the
yeah,
whole-
it's like a whole of Europe. So like Florida State, the vibe was completely different to New York State, and it was more of a slower. For me, Florida State was like Jamaica, where the places that I went, because it was just like you got palm trees, you got beaches, you've got relaxed, laid back people. It's like kind of more similar to Jamaica in some aspects.
Yeah.
So it's interesting, man, and I want to really get further into the US traveling as well.
So you know when you went to New York, do you feel like the Jamaican influence was stronger there than in Miami? Like obviously you said the landscape
Yeah.
in Miami is more similar, but in
Yeah.
terms of the culture, food, music, people,
Yeah.
do you get what I'm saying?
It's tough to say, but
The people them.
my experience was stronger in Florida State.
Were you similar age, by the way, when you went to both of them?
So when I
'Cause
was
that affects your.
Yeah, that's a good point. So when I went to Florida State, I was 13, 14, and when I went to New York State, I was, I think, 10 or 11. So not too much difference,
much
but a bit more advanced.
Yeah.
But in terms of the food was near enough the same. Like when I went to Jamaica and
New York.
Florida State, sorry. Like because the ingredient. Because what I think the big factor is the ingredients.
Yeah.
And that's the big thing when it comes to like UK. When you're replicating like Caribbean food in the UK, you're limited because you have to use cans and like tins to reproduce the same things. Like for example, like the peas, or like if you're doing rice and peas or something, sometimes you use a can, but in other countries they'll use the actual peas and just boil them. And that's what I think makes a difference. And the difference is the climate. That's what makes it the freshness of the food. So the climate of Florida and the climate of Jamaica is near enough the same because they're close to each other. So when I ate the food there, it was near enough the same. So that's one, and that's always nice.
The fish are coming from the same
Exactly,
ocean.
yeah, same ocean. So it's just like, near enough. The culture, I would say, was closer there, but I've got very limited experience. I don't want to I don't want some New York
You're a
people.
youngin'.
Yeah, I don't want some New York people trying to get at me right now, man. Like
They're already-
with the New York Jamaicans, with the New York Jamaicans, just allow me, like, I'm gonna come back there one day, man. I'm sure there's the coaches there as well, definitely.
I need to go myself, for sure, man. I need to go myself, but nah, that's cool. So you were young when you went there. You've been to Jamaica multiple times.
Yeah, 3 times.
So when you were young and as an adult.
So last time I went was I think I'd say I was around 21.
Okay.
22. Yeah, so as an adult, yeah.
You've been a grown man.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've been a grown man for a long time. But so your perspective is completely different. I'm imagine you went party when you were 21.
Yeah, big time.
You lived it up.
Yeah, I lived it up, man.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's an unfair experience, like, to compare because you didn't go partying when you were 14. I imagine. But in terms of like just on food again, that is, I know it's the most authentic place you can get Jamaican food, Jamaica, right?
Yeah.
But like, don't be biased. Like, is that the best Jamaican food you've had, like in yards?
No, this is totally truthful.
Okay.
Jamaican food that I had the best was in Jamaica, hands down.
Truthful.
Yeah, that's truthful.
No bias.
And there's things that I realised that are UK Jamaican, and there's things that are Jamaican from the island, which
Food
is
or like music or in general.
and that's in general. Like, there's certain things in Jamaica that they eat that we don't eat. That UK Jamaicans that I've grown up didn't really eat.
Can I guess?
Yeah,
Actually, I don't think I'll get it right there. I was gonna say no. Aki, you
no, Aki we eat. Yeah, Aki we eat. But it's just like that. There's some meals that they have that we just don't really have. Like, they've got this thing called I'm gonna butcher the name, but it's like a crab meal. It's called like cunch or something like that. I'm gonna have to get the right name for it. But yeah, it's like a curry type of thing, and it's a known thing. Like, they eat it a lot there, And it's like in the UK, like I never even heard of it before I went to Jamaica. Do you know what I mean? Then it's got other things like pumpkin rice. Like that's something that's eaten quite a lot there. But when I was growing up in UK, I've never had that once. So there's just differences.
That's crazy. See, this is what I love to get out of travel, because you having that first-hand experience, like a lot of people wouldn't know that here. And even just little things like, say, Chinese food, right?
Yeah.
Which is very common in the UK, and Indian food. Like, you speak to people that are from China, they're like, nah, it's very different. Like, what they sell in the UK is more palatable maybe, or just... It's just not what they would have in China or India. And I'm gathering that from Jamaica as well, kind of thing, and even the taste.
Yeah, so yeah. You just remind me of something as well.
What?
That a key place that I forgot to mention was a place called India that I've been to.
Oh, in Jamaica?
No.
Oh.
Country.
The place that I've traveled. Yeah.
No, you know, I've got like we could get to talking about because that was a life-changing experience for me as well.
Yeah.
But we can get to talk to that a bit later if you want, or we can go down.
Yeah, wait. Yeah, because I remember you going to India. Actually.
Yeah,
you saw the Taj Mahal.
Yeah.
That's mad.
Crazy,
man.
Yeah,
Gordon Brown.
Yeah, man.
Gordon Brown. Travelled, and you know what? Coming from like South London, right? I love seeing people that I grew up with really like flourish in just different parts of life, and like just traveling and being well traveled in general. It's one thing to be from London and have different cultures kind of melted and blended that we've grown up around, and there's another to actually experience those cultures firsthand where they're coming from.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I just discovered our accent has a name, like MLE.
Whoa.
I don't know if you've heard of it.
No.
It's multicultural London English. So
are you serious?
Yeah, man.
I need to do my research on that.
Not many people know about it, but I'm happy it's got a term, because there's things like Cockney, everyone knows that.
Yeah.
There's a Brummie accent,
Yeah.
there's a Mancunian, Scouse, Geordie.
Yeah.
Like, everyone's got their own thing. But growing up in and around London, like in the inner cities and stuff, it was kind of like a look down upon accent, I think. Like, you wouldn't go to the interview and like just speak anyhow. So I felt like a little dichotomy, like kind of had to put on two hats in different environments, right?
Yeah.
But with such a diverse city, you shouldn't have to do that. That should be accepted. And it having a name, I think, kind of goes a long way towards that. But also, growing up in South London, in Streatham specifically, because there are some pockets of South London where I guess it's like more dominant one culture. Brixton, for instance, very Caribbean.
Yeah.
Peckham's very West African. Like, so it's not diverse in that sense, but say like Streatham, like you get Nigerians, you get Polish people, Somali people, Italians, like all in the same ends.
I love growing up in Streatham, man.
I love it.
It's
You know what I
amazing,
mean?
yeah,
Like,
man.
And I've had friends who, like, when I have friends who are like international from a completely different country, and I've had like friends from Brixton be like, "How do you meet these people?" I was just like, like we're in London, this should be the norm.
This is normal in London.
So, and then obviously going to uni and like meeting people who were directly from those countries that I met in Streatham, but they were born and raised in London. But the people in uni, they were from those countries directly. It made me want to go to those countries specifically. So I'm like, you know, we're in London. There's a lot of Indians, and to go to India directly, how was that experience?
Man, it was amazing. Like,
Yeah.
it was really. I'm gonna be completely honest. Like, in terms of places where I envisioned myself going.
Yeah.
Like, I have like a wish list of places, and to be honest, India wasn't there. It wasn't of a situation where, like, I had any negative opinion. It just wasn't on my list of places because I've got such a big list.
Yeah.
But the opportunity came about at work, and I had an opportunity to go there and like teach some people some of the work that I was doing at the company that I was at, and I was just like, you know what, I'm gonna go for it. So I just thought, yeah, I'm gonna go, and it was one of the really happy that I made that choice. So it was like a 3-week stint where I was going to the office and I was teaching people, but after that I was like doing the tourist things in the country and doing like touristy things.
Yeah.
So where I was based, it was, oh my god, you put it's on the spot right now. So the city was called Pune. I'm just trying to remember if it was the I think it's the southeast, but please don't ridicule me. I'm very sorry. Yeah, disclaimer. If I got this wrong, yeah. So it was the
When
southeast.
was this, by the way? How many years ago?
This was 2017. Yeah, 2017.
Can forgive him. No, it's 4 years ago.
I know the state that I was in though, so that's good. It's called Maharashtra State. So, yeah,
Well,
got that one right.
Cameron,
Yeah. So, cut me some slack, please. But yeah, no, it was amazing. First things first, you know, we could talk about the food, you know, because that's a common theme that we're
How did
talking
it
about.
make you feel?
You know, the food, it was, how can I explain it? It's another situation of what, literally the Jamaica situation, but in India, because like I've had Indian takeaways, but many times chicken korma, all these things.
Yeah.
You go to India, I go there first time. Can I get a chicken korma, please? They say, what is that? What are you talking about?
Yeah.
It's just like,
Yeah.
oh, okay. So that this is why the beauty of travel again, like the education, like just you know, the education was just, it was just it's amazing. Like because I got there, then I was just realizing, okay, so a large part of the country is actually eats vegetarian. So some places only sell vegetarian meals, so they have like vegetarian curries and things like that.
Majority
so I wouldn't,
population.
yeah, exactly. So I wouldn't, you know, like I've always been growing up in like a household where we eat like chicken, meat with every meal. So that was like, okay, that was a bit of something to try, you know, different to me. So I had like broccoli curry, cauliflower curry. And, you know, usually think maybe that's not for me, but no, it was nice.
Yeah.
Like the flavors are there. It's just what you put in it. So like they have like a cheese curry, and that sounds like, oh, that sounds a bit, maybe that's not for me as well. But then no, it was nice. Like it's got like, I'm gonna be honest.
See, I'm not a cheesy guy, but like
So when you say cheese, like I have to explain it to you properly. So it's not like pizza cheese. It's not mozzarella. It's like something called, I think it's called paneer.
okay,
So it's like a block of cheese.
okay.
So to be honest, you know, if I think about it, you may like it, you may not. But
I
for
like
me,
pizza, but like,
it's not like pizza cheese. That's the thing. It's like a block of cheese.
Okay.
And then it's like, you know, maybe.
Fair enough.
But basically, to be fair, after a while, yeah, you know, you usually have the curry with like a naan bread or something called a paratha. That was my favorite.
That was your
paratha.
thing. That was
Yeah,
your
it's a bit
thing.
softer.
Paratha.
So you take that off.
Even the name, like
Yeah, take that off, and then you're just using the flavor because the curry is nice, like, and then you just dip in it, and then it was amazing.
So since that extent, because I know you've cut down on like meat in general, right?
Yeah.
Like, was that like the trigger point?
No, not really.
Okay.
Not really. The trigger point for that was like to be honest, like I've always liked fish because my dad was always been big on fish. So I've always been growing up like fish is healthy and tried to eat fish. So I've always liked fish as my like number one. But like I got to a point where when I was just thinking about like a few of my cousins actually, they turned to like pescatarian and now they're like vegetarian. And I just listening to a few things that they're saying and like just thinking about things in general, this makes me think like, you know, we don't have to actually eat meat. Like we have other alternatives. Like we don't have to do that. Like from a you know, like is it a good thing point of view?
Yeah.
Like we do actually have an option. We have an option. We don't have to eat it. So
Yeah.
when I think about it like that, it's like gets me a bit like, oh, we don't actually have to do it. Why do I have to
No, I hear that,
do
I hear
this?
that.
So
all right. So out of the places that you've been to, where would you rate India? Like,
oh wait. No, it's up there. It's up there.
Up
But
there.
like, most places I go, I always enjoy it. So
Yeah.
I haven't never made a list like
You
this
never
is my
had a
best
list?
place.
Okay.
Like
Okay.
I'm always gonna be biased to like my home, like to where my mum was born, like Jamaica. So like, it's kind of like a familiarity
Yeah.
in terms of food, in terms of culture, in terms of like people,
music and
music
stuff like
as
that.
well, of
Yeah,
course.
we'll get on music. That's what I'm
Yeah,
thinking.
we
like,
get on music,
in,
yeah.
in India.
Yes.
And we'll get on to Italy as well.
Yeah.
Because I know you mentioned that you've been there as well.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Did you go out? Like, did you cook club or
So yeah, because
any Bangra music? Any?
to be honest, you know what? I've actually now that I'm actually understanding what I'm said. Remember when I said at the start that I've done a solo trip? I haven't done it. That's actually fabricated because I've literally went to India by myself. So that's the reason I didn't look at it straight like that is because I went there as a work thing.
Yeah,
so I
yeah.
thought like, oh, it's kind of a work. But no, I traveled by myself. I went to India by myself.
definitely,
So
definitely
when I
count
went
that.
there, so now that you're bringing me back to that, so when I went to the club, like I went to a club, but like I've never experienced being a club by myself before. So like the music they were playing was like hip hop.
Yeah,
They were playing hip hop. They were playing
I'm not surprised.
like Western music.
Yeah.
It was all good and stuff, but like I'm just by myself, looking around looking to the left, like look to the left, look to the right, like cool. Like these people are doing their thing, like but. Like, what am I really doing? Like,
what are you doing?
Yeah, to be honest, it's not a knock on the clubbing scene there. It's more me like being at a club by myself. I don't know. I didn't know how to do that scenario.
How diverse was it?
You know what? It was. If you was to give numbers, I would say it was like 90% Indian,
yeah.
but there was 10%. I would say for other places. Like, to be honest, I met a Nigerian guy there. He was studying.
Yeah, everywhere.
Yeah, he was studying. Like, it was good to talk to him, got his viewpoint on things. And then I met there was obviously a few Caucasian people there.
Yeah.
Spoke to them. I think one of them was like on a work trip like me, and I think one was I think both on a work trip. And then I didn't see any
Chinese.
Did I see? No, I didn't see any
East Asian in general.
No, I didn't. I don't remember seeing any East Asian at the time at a party, but it was mostly 10%. I'll say Western, like and then like a few and the other Nigerian guy was there. I spoke to him. He was really cool. Yeah.
Did you draw any things?
No, I'm a taken man.
Yeah,
I'm a taken man. Yeah, no. Yeah.
Cool.
Black men don't cheat.
We love to hear it. We love to hear it still. All right. So I wanted to talk about, like, you've had some good experiences like traveling, which is amazing. I love to see it, right? And I don't know if you would say that when you were younger you had those same things, or whether it was like a case of you growing up and wanting to explore. I don't know like what your biggest influence in travel was, but I'm assuming that with your son, you want him to see the world kind of thing. And you've been to Jamaica from young and older. Like, and your son has Nigerian heritage as well. Yeah. Like, how much do you want him to take in what the world has to offer from young?
Oh, definitely. I'll just step back a little bit, just in terms of like my childhood. I would say I was pretty privileged, as my mum and dad, they made an effort to take me places, and I would really appreciate that, and I want to do the same for my son. So like traveling, I really want him to expand his horizon, and I think that helped me coming up as well, like knowing that there's more to life than the Streatham. You know, some people don't have the privilege to ever come out of the country. Like, so a few of my friends when I got to secondary, like, said they'd never travelled before, and I was just like, man, like, you know, I'm really grateful when I got older that I was able to go places outside of the country. So I want to do the same for him, and we've been 2 places so far. He's 4 now. We've been 2 places. You know, we would have been a few more places, but due to COVID, you know, but.
No, fair enough. No, that's good, man.
So I want to take that to him.
You like, as you said, you feel like it is useful, like definitely, like from young.
Yeah, man, definitely. Yeah,
your
like,
understanding of the world, like even if you're not necessarily conscious about what you're taking in, you're just taking it in.
Yeah,
like,
definitely. Like, I knew that I got family in New York, which is a different country. Like, it wasn't a mythical thing for me. I went there, I saw them. I saw them. I spoke that.
One thing with America, especially, like, because their media is so dominant, like with, especially growing up in like the late 90s, early noughties and whatnot, like hip hop, when it comes to Hollywood, it's just in your faces, right? Yeah. And you hear their accent, you hear like how they do things. So when I'd go to Boston and see my cousins, I just thought it was so lit. Like, I was like, what? I'm here. Like, it's like a dream sort of thing. But also, I noticed that with Nigeria for me, like when I would see my cousins in Nigeria, in Lagos, and in the East, I wasn't really as much of a fan as the East, which is like the Igbo part, because we were just staying in the village. Like, but as I grow older, I realized like there's so many amazing things in the East. But in Lagos, it was a similar thing, except I had a perception of Nigeria being poor kind of thing. But then in the same way, like going to Lagos, and it was amazing, and had things that came out before they came out in the UK, like all the video games, Smash Brothers, back then, FIFAs, like they came out beforehand. Yeah. And the buildings were lovely, like the houses were massive. It was just a dream. So that was like my escapism, like growing up in London, to see that. So anyway, want to like take us to like finally when you went to Italy. So
Yes,
I
yes,
know,
yes.
I know
Yes.
that this was for your brother's wedding.
That's correct.
Yeah. So, like me, I did a speech for my brother at his wedding.
We're going straight there. We're going straight there. We're going straight there, right? All right,
Insert
cool.
clip. Nah, joking.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm joking. You did something similar.
Oh man.
I respect it. It takes guts, man.
Yeah, yeah.
It takes guts. So, all right, that was what it was for. We don't
Yeah,
need to
yeah.
go into the nitty-gritties of how the
Yeah,
speech went.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
But how did you find Italy as a whole?
How did I find it? Amazing, really nice. To be honest,
Yeah.
Italy was another country similar to India. It wasn't actually on my list of places.
Really?
Yeah, yeah,
Even
to
with
be
the
honest.
Colosseum, like Venice, like this, Napoli. Well,
When you
that's
put it
where
like
went.
that. But like, because if you talk about my list of places like, like Canada, Brazil, like Nigeria, Ghana, Ethiopia.
Yeah, yeah.
Like these are places that I haven't been to yet, and these are on my list. Italy is a place where I want to go. It was there, but not really on my list as a
Yeah.
forefront. If you know what I mean.
You see, so just with Italy, though,
Yeah.
I find out of any European country, they have the most commonality with like Africa. In terms of their family orientation,
Yeah.
like their love of foods, and like just the whole sense of community. I don't really see that with other
That's
like
interesting.
Oyibo countries,
Yeah,
basically.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
but yeah,
Cool. That's interesting. But yeah, in terms of Italy now, so yeah, went there like as you said, brother's wedding. Went as a family. Me, my partner, and my son. That was nice for him because it's like his second trip ever. So I took him on a plane. That was nice. And then actually getting to Italy. So where I went was a place called Sorrento, which is in the south. I know that one. And I think it's in Naples. Yeah,
Yeah,
Naples. So the town of Sorrento, like it's quite an old town,
Yeah.
I think. So it's quite like I would say laid back, slow
Yeah.
town. But like I felt it was just so nice because it just felt like this is like a movie kind of
yeah,
thing. Like yeah.
a lot of movies. Are
So
shot.
anyway, like they would just be walking down the road, I would say the majority of the demographic was an elder population. I would say maybe above 60, and like we would just be walking, me, my partner, and my son, and he was about maybe two at a time, and like Italian people would just come up to us and just be like, "Hey, bambino, bambino, bambino,"
yeah, that
and
means
then,
baby,
like baby, like bambino, bambino. And then we'd have to like talk. Like this happened like maybe like 3 or 4 times a day. Like, so, like it's like it's kind of refreshing,
Yeah,
Like it's kind of refreshing. Like they really appreciated the children there. But one thing I did notice is that there wasn't many other children at the place because it's kind of at the town that I was in, because I think it was more of a elder population. There wasn't much other younger children, Italian children there. So that's kind of maybe where I think they appreciate the children a lot.
Yeah.
So that was kind of nice, like just to, like he was always getting attention, and it's kind of nice,
Man, he must have felt special.
Yeah,
as well.
yeah, I think so. Like even still to this day, he's like, "Daddy, I want to go back to Italy."
Yeah,
I want to do Italy.
that's it. I mean,
Because like he was welcomed, like it was really I felt welcomed. The food was amazing.
Yeah.
The people were really nice, and
Italians are lovely.
yeah, man,
Like,
I really enjoyed it. I would definitely go back to
Okay.
Italy, and I would like to go to the north as well, Milan, Rome as well.
Yeah.
But I would go back to the south as well again.
Yeah,
I would go back there once a year even. It's
That's
so
amazing.
nice.
Bro. Like, so I want to ask about what you thought about the architecture, because that was, you didn't go to Amalfi, but it's not too far. Like,
Yeah,
it's
I
like,
think it's
a
not too far, yeah.
It's similar. So
Yeah.
that's known for its colourful houses,
Yeah.
and like they're on a hill, like by a cliff kind of thing. Like it's by the coast.
Yeah.
In Sorrento, was it like that? Because it's very mountainous. Like you can drive up around in spirals, and then
Yeah.
there's like houses.
It was like that. Yeah.
yeah.
It was
Scenic. It's something out of a movie, like you said,
out of a
right?
movie,
Yeah.
because like they have like lemon trees everywhere.
Yeah,
They have like lemon trees everywhere, like, and it's just really nice. Like you've got a lemon tree, like, and then you've got a house, and it's like London, we have a similar architecture for like every house is built around the same time.
yeah.
But there it's like each house is an individual, and it's its own
It's got its own
own
story.
story, its own everything to it, and it's infused in like lemon trees everywhere. Like you can just get a lemon, take it off the tree, and they do this thing called like limoncello. That's one of their main things,
Yeah.
and they make that, and like they really sell what they have, and that's what I really appreciate. They really sell. Like, I really respect that. They sell what they produce. So they have lemons growing everywhere. So what do? They make something called limoncello, and they sell that to the tourists and sell that to everybody. And that I really respect that. The architecture was like, it's proper
It's like a
old
simple life,
school,
yeah.
but it's so nice.
Yeah.
It's a really simple life. Like they make their things and they sell it. Like, hats
it.
off to that.
Honestly,
that's just proper sick to me.
So I mentioned Rome was my first destination, right?
Yeah.
And I grew up on like a few things like culturally, right? Outside of like being in a Nigerian Igbo household.
Yeah.
I used to see adverts of like Italian and French kids in like villages where like it was tiled like pavements, and even the sky looked different. Like it was it wasn't just pure like transparent. It was like tinted transparent, like, and they had like vineyards. They had like houses with like back streets, and like the neighbors would, you know, hang their clothes over the railing, and like they'll say hello to each. That sort of thing.
Exactly how it was for me.
Yeah. So growing up on that, like, is why I always wanted to go, kind of thing. And and actually going there, I appreciate that, kind of like what you said. They grow their stuff and sell it. Every region has what it's known for.
That's
so
sick.
like in Venice, they made Aperol Spritz. So like that cocktail like is from that region.
Yeah.
Then, you know, like bolognese is from another region.
Yeah.
And pizza's from a specific, like,
I
and they've
respect
given
that.
so much to the world.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah, they're
So
giving a lot.
Shout out to the Italians, man.
Yeah, big up.
Yeah. So and finally, like, just before we call it a day, thanks for coming, man. I've like I mentioned the places that I grew up on, right? Japan's another one, yeah. And I watched anime growing up. I watched like different martial arts, and I used to love the idea of samurais and stuff. And Nintendo, like just games in general, right? So I want to go there. Like, would you say there's somewhere that you grew up on that you want to go to? Is Japan one of them? Like,
To be honest, I would love to go to Tokyo, Japan, like, and just, you know, just soak in the culture. You know, I also heard they eat a lot of fish as well, so I'm interested in trying that.
Fishy guy.
So yeah, Japan. In terms of where I want to go, yeah, like in terms of growing up with it's the exact question that you answered, that you asked. To be honest, not really, but there's like, as I said, Brazil is one of my main places I would love to go to.
Capoeira,
yeah, man,
samba.
yeah, like there's so much things. Like their football, like growing up, I've always enjoyed their football, their style of football, and that's a big thing for me. Rio de Janeiro, just heard so much nice things about the place, and that's somewhere I would definitely want to go.
Yeah.
Canada, of course.
Yeah.
You know, would like to go to Toronto, and yeah, there's a few places like that.
So,
Yeah.
cool,
Also, I want to
man.
mention, I want to give a shout out to Thailand because I've been there and I would love to go back there.
Yeah.
That place is a really, really amazing place for me, man.
Thailand's
yeah,
lit,
yeah.
man. Thailand's lit.
Phuket for me is one of my favorites. But yeah.
Yeah. All right. No,
Cool,
no.
man.
Pleasure having you, my bro.
Yes, man. This was proper good. Thank you,
Sick,
man.
All right. That's been the Young Crouch Travel Show. And just before we go, I like to say, I end on a quote. So, for me, what got me into traveling was this ethos. You have to get lost to find yourself. All right. Peace.